Welcome to Virtual Coffee with Dawn Rickabaugh, the Note Queen, where we talk about owner financing and notes. Financial solutions, one mom and pop to another.
Right. Well, the thing is, I'm going to just speak to this anyway because it's a really good topic.
Okay.
What's the most passive way to invest in notes is that you have to just let other people be the deal makers, the brokers, the rainmakers, and you just set your money with someone. You leave. You need to be realistic. I know there's special situations where people have learned to make really high returns on a passive basis, but usually if you're going to be passive, you need to be happy. The less of an interest rate that you're going to require, the more likely it is that you can really keep your money working. If you're willing to be active and make it like a job almost, I mean, you could just, you can get up to the point where you have infinity returns. In the early days, and I've told this story before, I mean, by the time I was done with my process of quitting my job and trying to recreate myself as an investor, and as I guess I ended up as a note queen, but I had no money of my own. I really had no money of my own. But I had invested all in learning about it and diving into the world of it. And I had a little bit of deal flow and things like that. So I used other people's money and just created a yield spread. So for instance, if I bought a note at a 15% yield, and back in the early days, I had to pay more for my money. It was expensive for me, right? 12%, but I still made a 3% spread. So if $100 is coming in from that borrower, like my investor would put up all the money. I found the deal. I managed the deal. Similar to like joint venturing on real estate, right? There's money partners and there's sweat equity partners. So, but anyway, so they put up all the money, and they required their 12%. And so that, just because I bought the note at a 15% yield, I discounted it to the point where it was a 15, then there was, let's say there might have been $50 or $100 a month passive income. So my investor was completely passive, and I wasn't, but I was making passive income, 50, 100, 150 on deals where I didn't have any of my own money in it. So it's kind of passive income out of thin air, except for all the years that it took me to get to that point and all the investment, right? And the time to make deals happen. So if you want to be totally passive, you got to find someone else who has deal flow and who's going to manage the day in and day out. And so, if you already own property, like there's some really 3 low-hanging fruit ways to right now get invested in, be a note investor. Number 1, take a property you already own and sell it with owner financing. Voila, you have a note. You go from landlord to lender. You just turn the hat around, and instead of collecting rent, you're collecting a mortgage payment from someone. No taxes, tenants, toilets, all of that. That's one of the quickest ways to get in, and just see what the whole thing's about. What does the paperwork look like? What does it feel like to get a payment in and never get a call for maintenance? Or what does it feel like when they're having trouble and you get a call and they say, well, I can't make my payment this month, right? What is it like to keep on top of taxes and insurance, so that you make sure that your position is secure? The second way would be just lend money. I'm sure every town has a bunch of hard money lenders, private money lenders, who their job is to create deal flow. So, a lot of times it's in rehab flipper type paper, and some people aren't interested in that, and some people are. But there's all sorts of people that need to borrow private money that can't, or doesn't make sense to go to the bank just because of the speed of capital. Like, you need the money now. Like, if you get a good deal on a property, you can't wait 60 days to close, right? You got to close in a week. So just find one of those brokers that has a good reputation and just say, hey, I have some money. So one of the next deals that comes through your office, you keep the points, I'll keep the interest. I'll take the, so that's what they do. They make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, and then they hook the investor up with you. And then it's totally passive. So, but you have to do your due diligence on the operator, right? And just make sure that you feel comfortable with the risk and reward scenario that you have. The third way is to develop, like I was just talking with Dave, is to develop your own private capital partners. Not someone who's sitting around in RIAs and going to seminars all the time. It's the ones that are just, they don't know how, they don't have time or don't know how to do anything with their money. So they're making 0, 1, 2, 3% on their money. If you can cultivate them up from that to 4, 5, and 6, you can go to a note broker, you can go to anywhere. You can go to the hard money people. You can just find the people who have deal flow, like people who, like myself, who dig up owner finance notes, the hard money brokers, and you can just leverage the money. So if the hard money broker says, hey, we can pay you 10, and you got a partner of yours that'll take 7, well, just for putting that together, you're making 3% out of thin air.
You've been listening to Virtual Coffee with Dawn Rickabaugh. For more, please visit notequeen.com.